front. Now we're going to see a little four-wide action. Crazy out of the triangle.
Oh, he gets over into the lead on the record.
3x3 entering four.
3 deep. At the flag stand, side by side, it's going to be Jason Maines winning at Talladega.
Hello everybody, welcome into Ghost Racing Network here live for the new, still kind of new I guess if you will, PGR Thursday Night Heat Series. Joining me in the booth, co-host Matthew Baker. Baker getting ready for the LCQ here. A little messy last week, but not a lot, but you know, a couple less drivers this week. LCQ not quite as important to sweep those top 13 spots. Either way, I'm excited for it. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm excited. A little bit smaller field tonight, so should be some good racing. Only 16 cars here in this LCQ, but it should be a barn burner. We're gonna have relaxed yellows tonight, and should be a good LCQ leading up to the feature.
Looking at your starting lineup for the LCQ, Mark Vondell with the pole. Pretty good qualifying effort for him. Unfortunately, just short of not having to worry about being in the LCQ, of course. Jason Julian in second, Brock Westmoreland in third, Travis Burton fourth, Joshua McCall fifth, William Fox for Clutch Gaming Team in sixth. Going to be Danny Barnes seventh, Richard Elliott eighth, Ian White in ninth, and Sierra Clampert back in the field tonight, rounding out your top 10.
And then you got John Darnell in 11th, Cole Fitzpatrick in 12th, Shane Hofstadter in that transfer spot in 13th, Dylan Jones, Sean Hill, and Christopher McCullough, the only three who didn't qualify, looking to maybe try and get to the front and get that extra bonus from winning the LCQ.
And you know what, Baker? I think there might be some strategy in that, especially when you have a smaller LCQ field and you know that your chances of higher for making it in. You can get a little bit more risky with it, but we'll have to see how it pans out. Looking at your race info for the LCQ here, of course, both races tonight we're going to be in the Truck Series. 15 laps here in the LCQ, going to be 40 laps later for the main event. 60% fuel for both races, unlimited tires, one faster pair, as always, fixed setups, and we will have 3 green-white checkers for both. However, we will finish this race under green. Don't have to worry about ending it under yellow. Wind 2 miles an hour, partly cloudy skies, 55% humidity, weather 70 degrees outside. Track temp, pretty cool today, 72 degrees. Guys shouldn't have any issues with handling. And of course, Talladega track length coming in at just over 2.5 miles. Getting down trackside, Jason Julian. I think this is one of the rookies, Baker. We'll see if he can have a good night tonight, but this is a promising start. He's going to be on the front row now. Knowing that these guys don't have to fight quite as hard. Again, if we had a full LCQ, I think we would have 23 trucks. 20 to 23 trucks, 16 tonight, but we know 3 of these guys are going to go home. If you're in the top 10 here, Baker, are you playing it safe or are you still trying to get to the front?
Yeah, I think you play it safe. If you're the top 10, you just keep it too wide, try and keep that third lane stacked up, and just stay in those those compact money positions from first through 10th to get into that feature.
All right, well, 15 laps to get us started here tonight. The LCQ underway here at Talladega. Lap 1 is going to go to Joshua McCall. Boy, did not take him long to find his way to the front. Got his teammate to his inside. You know, these two don't have any plans of going anywhere, but the 47 truck, he sure likes what he sees. He's going to try to jump to the high side to make something work. Not going to get any help from the 92 of Travis Burton. Off of turn 2, maybe not the best move. He is going to fall all the way to the back. Nobody's going to help him out in this case. There's on the bottom, Sierra Clamper. I thought for a second saw somebody getting loose in the back. No, everybody's doing just fine. John Darnell in the 99 truck just ahead of this mess. Out back, they look a little squirrely, but up front, they're starting to single file out a little bit for about the first 3 rows.
Oh, Sean Hill is making aggressive moves, trying to get through the middle, split to the 3 wide. He's trying to get in line here. Actually, he's going to stay in the middle here, try and push Josh McCullough up front there. You got the 92. That's not John Ward out there in the field tonight. Who is that? That would be Travis Burton, one of the newer guys out here in the field.
Trying to make a statement early, and Sean Hill knows that with 15 laps, only 13 to go by this point, it's important to get to the front, and he has got a good truck in front of him, Joshua McCall. Those two are going to have a great shot at the lead, but they're going to maybe need a little bit more help trying to find some here from one of the trucks behind. Looks like we do have a couple takers. The 12 truck, Cole Fitzpatrick, he is trying to make that second lane work, but unfortunately they're going to leave him now. He's going to be the one waiting for help from the 92 and the 761 truck of William Fox, who leads the way right now for Clutch Gaming Team. Highest running driver in the field so far in the LCQ.
I think the Baines group is drawing straws to see who gets in the LCQ, who gets the short end of the stick to go and try their luck, because last week it was Jason Baines running a really slow time. That way he could get into the LCQ, and this week it's Dylan Jones who doesn't even put a time down. So a little bit of strategy, but you can see there's 3 trucks back there that may lose the draft. That would be all they need for the transfer spot if these two keep side drafting back there.
Yep, sure enough, that's Sarah Clamper. Looks like the 13 truck as well of Shane Hostler and Jason Julian, who actually started on the pole. Remember, he fell back after they kind of made the move. He decided he wanted to get back to the lead, took it 3 wide, didn't work out, went all the way to the back. But him and Sierra are 2 drivers that don't have any teammates. They need to try to work together right here. And Baker, I don't like the idea of waiting till the end because things can get crazy. I think you need to start trying to get to the front now while things are still relatively calm. But Dylan Jones, here he comes on the outside line. And it's funny how the fastest guys manage to find their way to the front of the lines and lead the way. Exactly what you're seeing as the 2 McCall Motorsports drivers and the NBG driver are pulling away those top 3, trying to see if they can secure their spot here with 11 laps to go.
Yeah, so last week we had 34 trucks, actually 32 trucks in the field. You know, we're half of that right now. We're getting some real good, clean racing. Everyone's trying to just stay in that transfer spot. But once these laps start to tick down, you get to 10 to go, we're really going to start throwing haymakers up front, trying to get that extra $30. It is confirmed it's still $30 to the LCQ winner here tonight.
And they certainly are throwing haymakers. Ooh, the 92 thought about taking Dylan Jones 3 wide for a minute, thinks better of it. Sean Hill jumped up in front of the 11. Ooh, Joshua McCall gets loose on the bottom. He has to gather it up in front of his teammate. That's going to allow the NBG Motorsports driver and Dylan Jones to both clear the bottom. Dylan quickly realizes first is the only spot paying for the LCQ. He jumps up, and man, a couple guys getting really out of shape.
Dylan stacked that middle lane up, and everyone was hooked bumper to bumper. The 92 is going to get shuffled out. He's going to try and get down. He can't get down. He's shuffled out to the top 3 wide. Great move there on the middle lane. They're going to get to Dylan Jones, but it's going to make that bottom lane really roll. Mark Von Dale's clear. So is Joshua McCullough. Will they take it and hang out Sean Hill?
Looking for who is going to make that 3 wide move up at the front first here. Clamper's starting to dice back through the field. She wants to get herself into the big race tonight. Wasn't able to advance last week. See if that could change around this week. Actually, correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't think she advanced last week, Baker.
She did not advance last week, but she's starting to make her way up. She was back in last place a couple laps ago. She's trying to make her way back to the front, get inside that transfer position.
Sean Hill still leading the bottom, and seems like it's the most comfortable place to be if you have more experienced guys above you. But Dylan Jones, Joshua McCall, they are no short of experience. And Joshua McCall is working both lanes. Sean Hill keeps trying to get to the front, but Dylan Jones and Joshua McCall battling hard to not let that happen. Mark Von Dale has stuck to the inside, working pretty well. There's a ride on board with one of our drivers carrying an onboard camera for this race. Travis Burton having an okay run, but he fell further towards the back now in 12th, down 8 from where he started. And he's got some work to do. Currently second to last truck in the transfer positions right now.
You got teammates and Joshua, Mark Von Dale up there. Look for Christian McCullough to try and get hooked up. If they get 3 trucks lined up, it's going to be pretty hard to beat them. But I'm looking for an alliance between NBG and the Mains boys here with Dylan Jones and Sean Hill trying to get to a position where they can both fight it out for the wins and hold those McCullough boys back.
And I agree. Alliance until the last lap, friends, until you're not. 77 gets clear again. This time, him and Dylan Jones are going to jump down. We'll see if Jones decides to stick with him this time. We saw him jump up last time, but he seems like he wants to be a lot more patient with it this time around. Here comes Christopher McCall. He's going to give a push to Cole Fitzpatrick. The outside line looking for another run, but it's only 2 trucks right now. They're waiting for Sierra Clamford. All of a sudden, where did the 6th truck come from? She might have a shot at winning this thing as well. She's got to think about taking it 3 wide now. We're 8 to go, coming to 7 to go. Crunch time is just on the horizon. Ooh, the 05, Joshua McCall. He thought about going up. He's still thinking about it. I don't know if he's clear. Oh, man. Barely slams the door on Sierra. I think she might have cut him a little bit of a break right there.
Oh, a little bit of contact up front between the 12 of Fitzpatrick and Sean Hill. He's looking to clear down to the bottom. He's not. He's now going to get split 3 wide. Oh, the McCulloughs stay in line with him. Cooler heads prevail. Chris McCullough knows he's in a championship spot, and he said out the door with that. He's going top of 3 wide, hanging Fitzpatrick in the middle. They're just going to let him roll. He's going to get stuck in the sucker hole. He's going to try and clear down. He clears down in front of Brock Westmoreland. What a crazy corner.
And now Christopher McCall, what happened here? It looked like he went to the middle, and now he's going to lose all his help. Teammate stays to the outside, Joshua McCall, but it looks like the 92 truck is going to go ahead and help him out. Up front, though, we got a 4-truck breakaway of single file. That's Sean Hill, Dylan Jones, Mark Vondell. These guys all trying to scoot away from the rest of the pack. Going to be coming to 6 laps to go. Everything looking nice and clean so far. 3rd lane working, but those guys, as you were noting earlier, Baker, just continue to side draft each other and just have not been able to make much progress. I think at this point in the race, I'd look to see the winning move come on the last lap.
Definitely, and you think it's going to come from 2 trucks from the bottom trying to get to that middle line. I'd have to say, you know, last week the track temp was at 129 around this time. Right now it's at 73 degrees. It's great conditions for racing, especially on the bottom lane. So look for that bottom lane to really roll tonight until the track really tacks up.
And this is just good practice for everybody, too. Even if you make it in, hey, extra laps never a bad thing. We do have 1 truck blinking. That's the 92. Travis Burton struggling a little bit with that. That always scares you if you're in that field. Oh, we're going to have a wreck. Who's this one going to collect? 2 trucks hard into the outside wall. Looks like it's the 49. Along with the 12 of Cole Fitzpatrick. First caution of the LCQ and of the night. And the 12 has heavy suspension damage. This could end his night. Everybody does have a fast repair in the LCQ. So they should be good to go here for these guys, but they're going to have a lot of work ahead. Good thing is that they did catch that caution. Now they just got to try to make it back to the pits. And I think the 49 truck got the worst of it, but they're both going to have to use a fast repair, as we noted. Let's take a look back at it here. It's just going to be some contact, I believe. See, at this point, they had already wrecked. The 49's in the middle. The 12 is up top, and it looked like the 12 may have came down. Watch the truck in the 3rd lane, the 49 in the middle, and yeah, the 12 truck, interesting move there. Not sure if he realized there was a truck below him, and he just turns it straight left in the 49. That's what I got to assume, is that just didn't realize he was there, just turns the 49 up into the outside wall, hard hit. And not fun to be the victim of that incident. In this case, if you're the 49 truck, he's having a decent run, Ian White, and now this is going to hopefully not put him a lap down, but put him to the back of the field and no longer in the transfer position. Take one more ride on board with the 49 truck here real quick. And watch this. Just kind of like a blindside, I guess like a blindside hit, if you will, in the sense of he doesn't see it coming. There's nothing he can really do to prevent it. He was drafted behind Sierra, no issues, and boom, there's contact.
Yeah, he came over the comms and he asked me, he said, what happened there? And it just looks like Cole didn't know he had a truck on his inside, or didn't know what happened, but he turned straight down into him.
Well, I'll tell you what, happens to the best of us, and in this case, I think they're going to be okay. As long as neither guy loses a lap, they'll still have a chance to fight for it, but the only thing working against them here is the laps that we are going to have left. Looks like it is going to be probably a 2 to go restart here. We do have 3 green-white checkers, I believe, if we need them. But we will have to see what happens. Hey, I want to see if we can pull in somebody that we're expecting to see in the main race that, of course, isn't racing in the LCQ right now, and how about we bring in, see what Cody Nagels has to say. Hey, Cody, this is Austin and Matthew up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do. What's up, guys?
Not much. Well, we know that we're going to be watching you here tonight. You're getting ready right now watching these guys. Is there anything that's caught your eye up to this point?
My teammate pulling a boneheaded move, I guess, and getting a little bit greedy, I guess, is the only thing that caught my eye. He was running a bad quali lap, so he decided to redo it, and he couldn't even get his second lap in. So, yeah, moving forward, he needs to be a little bit smarter and not give his teammates a heart attack. As far as the race, I like that these LCQ guys are running a lot cleaner than they were last week.
Yeah, I could certainly agree with you on that point. Now, the big race, that's where we know things get a little crazier. We saw the ending last week kind of get messy. NBG kind of in the center of that. What have you guys changed around this week, and how do you look to improve on it?
From a team perspective, I think just making smarter decisions. I understand that sometimes you want to go big or go home. I think last week might have been a result of trying to just do too much. And I understand wanting to be a good teammate or trying to go for the win because he was going for 3 in a row. But sometimes settling for 3rd or 4th is better than taking a chance on getting wrecked out and wrecking your teammates out in the process. So got to run a smart race with this being a large field, man. You can't really make mistakes. You get wrecked one time and you're probably not coming back up front.
The saying, track position is king, of course, going to hold true here in the PGR Thursday Night Heat Series. Hey, Cody, we know we'll get to see you later tonight, but thanks for talking to us, and as always, good luck tonight.
Thanks, Austin. Appreciate what you guys do.
And I'll tell you what, Baker, I feel like you probably wish that you were racing with your teammate tonight, but nonetheless, got you up here in the booth. And the one thing I still struggle with here is sliding people back to their rooms. I think we got
have
Cody
so
in the
many
right
people
place.
in the Discord.
Yeah,
we
you're
got
not
them in
kidding.
there.
All right, so going to get the 1-to-go signal right here. Looks like Alex Hill, excuse me, is going to take the bottom line. Dylan Jones up top. Mark Vondell, Christopher McCall going to be the lead pushers. And I think right now, if you're Dylan Jones, you got to be feeling pretty good. We know how aggressive Christopher McCall is at pushing. And he doesn't have any of his teammates behind him right now. So I think Chris is going to have to stay in line, play it safe, at least until the white flag lap. In fact, if I'm anybody in those first 2 rows and I'm looking to get the win, I don't think I'm making that move until the last lap. And I think I'm waiting until off turn 4. So the 2-lap shootout, of course, if we do get a caution on that first lap, then we could rack them up and do it again. If we take the white flag, though, this race will be efficient. With those relaxed cautions, it's probably going to take a pretty decent wreck for the caution to occur. Travis Burton finds himself back up inside the top 5. Brock Westmoreland just outside the top 5 looking in. But let's talk about the transfer positions. Ian White and Cole Fitzpatrick, the 2 trucks involved in that last wreck, they're good to go. Took the fast pairs of trucks back to shiny and clean. They don't have any damage anymore, and they're going to try to get back to the front. Jason Julian is that 3rd truck right now that is outside of the transfer window. Remember, he was one of the guys up there starting on the front row. So, you know, he would be, I guess I should say, feel pretty disappointed if he couldn't make this race. But again, there is luck thrown into it here. And the 47 maybe got a little bit of a bad luck when he decided to make that move to the 3rd lane. Nobody went with him. Fell all the way to the back. Just has not been able to recover yet. Best advice I can give to that truck right there. Follow the 05. Joshua McCall, we know he's going to be aggressive, and he's probably going to try to jump up right in front of the 47. If he does so, you better believe he's looking 3rd lane. Follow him, get to the front, and who knows, maybe get yourself a win and locked in at the same time. Best of both worlds. All right, here we go. Pace car's going to pull off. Hill and Jones, row 1, Vondell and McCall, row 2. 2-lap shootout at Talladega to determine the winner of $30 in 13 of the 16 trucks that are going to make it to the big race tonight. Green flag is back in the air.
Huge stack up on the top lane here. You're looking for them to try and transfer and get up to that 3rd lane, but they're just going to roll to the bottom. That bottom's dominant like we talked about, but you've got a good pusher in McCullough pushing Dylan Jones in the top lane. Look for him to try and maybe clear Dylan, even with no help behind. They're doing a great job tandem up right now, but Vondell's keeping Sean pretty even. They're side by side. You see 3 wide out back. They're going to try and get as much positions as they can, but they're not going to get enough momentum here.
How about the run from the outside, though? Broken up with no help. Only 2 trucks. Christopher McCall is doing everything to stay on the back bumper of the 11. He knows if he breaks off, that could make or break his race. Vondell, though, he is not leaving his eyes off the 77's bumper. Stays tandemed up, and they are going to come into the white flag. 1 lap to go. Still 2 by 2, but when that outside line gets there, Baker, they're going to have a big run. We'll see if they take it one more time around Talladega. Who's going to make it into the big race?
Everyone makes it around 2x2. You see one truck off the pace towards the back. That's Jason Julian. He's going to try and maybe get the draft or at least wait for a wreck to happen. But you see Sean Hill getting a great push from Vondell. Vondell is shown very strong in this LCQ. Really impressed with what he's doing here. But Christopher McCullough is giving a good shot to Dylan. They're still even. I can't believe that none of these trucks have blown up yet. They are pushing really good. This track temp being low is producing some great racing right now.
Final time down the backstretch, last gas, both guys locked on to the trucks in front, not going to let off. Now the inside starts to get an advantage. Big wreck out back. That's going to affect transfer positions. Actually, no, it is only 2 trucks, it looks like for now, maybe 3, but the battle up front for the $30 is still underway. Who's going to get it? They stay side by side. Dylan Jones backs up just a little bit. One more big push from the outside. Can the 11 get it at the line? He does, just by inches. Dylan Jones wins it. Going back to the transfer positions, Joshua McCall, last truck to transfer in. Cole Fitzpatrick, Ian White, and John Darnell. Heartbreak on the last lap. Wreck in the back is going to cost all 3. Before we celebrate too much, let's go back and take a look at where it all goes wrong here. And they are getting ready to grid for the warm-up, but we got it just in time here. And just 99 on the bottom, 12 truck again. Man, that's unfortunate. Second time that the 12 did come down somebody. You know he's not doing it intentionally, but that's got to be really frustrating for the 2 guys that were involved in that. John Darnell. Man, tough break. And I think, let's back this up one more time and take one more look. Cole Fitzpatrick actually gets out of that relatively unscathed, all things considered, I believe. No, it looks like he is still going to be one of those 3 trucks that I don't think advanced. Although we'll have to get official word from race control here in just a minute. Watch the 12. Coming down. Slight contact, just it's all it really takes in these trucks. And, you know, a lot of times we'll see netcode when they get close, but in this case it wasn't netcode as Richard Elliott loads into the driver cams. But watch on the chopper view here. And of course contact's already occurred. Not the best view there. We'll try to redo it for you here. Yep, there it is. John Darnell is trying to save it. Unfortunately, when he hits the side of Joshua McCall, sends him back up into the wall. Tough way to have the race end for sure. And we can't take a look at the finish because it looks like the session has already went ahead and been advanced to the warm-up. So everybody, you got 3 minutes to go get yourself situated, go get a drink, whatever you need to be ready for the big race. We'll be back with your starting lineup and more. Stick with us here on Ghost Racing Network.
Front, now we're going to see a little four wide action. Crazy out of the triangle.
Oh, he gets in the lead on the record.
3 by 3, entering 4.
3-2. At the flag stand, side by side, it's going to be Jason Maines winning it at Talladega.
Back live at Talladega Superspeedway, getting ready for the main event tonight in the PGR Thursday Night Heat Series. Shorter grid time here, so we're just going to get right into it. Get to your starting grid for your feature event tonight. Steve Korsak for Dale Cup gets the pole. Ken McCall Jr. to his outside. How about Michael Triscaro and John Ellis Jr. going to be making up row 2. Thomas Parker for KSR in 5th. Gabe Butler, another Dale Cup driver, he starts in 6th. Jeff Merck 7th, Jason Maines 8th. It's going to be David Sheets in 9th. Cody Nagels rounding out your top 10.
Last week's winner in 12th, Ryan Bass in 13th, Ashburn Billum 14th, Matthew Lee 15th, Kenneth Stamper for KSR in 16th, Daniel Eberhardt in 17th, Ron Morris Jr. in 18th, Jacob Emery in 19th, and Heath Jobin 20th.
Row 11 is going to be Sean Corbett and J.R. Miller. Row 12, John Mullihan, Chris Blanchard, Dustin Carruthers starts 25th. Mike Davenport 26th. Ryan Borboom, I think I said his name right, starts 27th. Zach Range 28th. Philip Wilkinson 29th. William Scott rounding out your top 30.
And Dylan Jones, our winner in 31st, Sean Hill in 32nd, Christopher McCullough in 33rd, 34th. They got Mark Vondell, Brock Westmoreland in 35th, Travis Burton in 36th. Danny Barnes in 37th. Sierra Clampert in 38th. She transfers in this week. 39th, we got William Fox and Shane Hofstadter in 40th.
Richard Elliott 41st. Jason Julian 42nd. And Joshua McCall finishes 43rd. Hey, we got your winner for the LCQ in here. Baker, what do you got for him?
Hey, Dylan. Good to talk to you. Great win there in the LCQ. How'd you get it done on those last 2 laps?
Pointed the car straight and hope we didn't get turned somehow. It was a little risky, but for $30, I think it's worth it.
Definitely worth it. It's like you guys are drawing straws to see who goes for that extra $30 in the mains group. Hopefully you guys have another good run out there, good LCQ win. Hope to see you again here later on.
Yep, thanks. Hope we all have a good race tonight.
Thank you, man.
All right, so we're getting ready to go green. A couple things to talk about before we do. Everybody that's joined in the chat tonight, we appreciate you as always. Anthony Casso says we're back. Devin Rea, One Stop Motorsports, TA Auto Sports. I believe that might be Trevor Devin Ray. Talked about him in here. Josh Oshevsky, I think I got it right this week. Good to see you in here as well. And it's time to go racing. Steve Korsak, we've seen how aggressive he's willing to be. 40 laps, big money on the line again this week. Green flag is in the air. We're racing at Talladega. Lap 1, big moves from Ken McCall Jr., but up front, John Ellis Jr. is the one that's going to get it. Turn the volume down here just a little bit for everybody. We don't want to hurt anybody's ears, but they're already 3 wide. Gabe Butler in the middle with Jason Maines. Did not take long to pick up from where we left off last week. And with the more cooler track temp, Baker, I think these lanes are going to be a lot more even, and it's just going to come down to who can push harder. You got NBG on the top, Dale Cup and the Mains boys in the middle, and there's Ken McCall Jr. pushing John Ellis Jr. on the bottom. They look like they're going to start to peek ahead here out of turn 4.
Sean Hill's trying to dice his way through the field, get up to those NBG boys. Looks like we had 2 trucks not make the grid. They had a little bit of a late start, Christopher McCullough and Dustin Carruthers. Hopefully they get a caution, get them back here racing, but Unfortunate for them. They'll probably catch a quick yellow and they'll be fine.
I was going to say, you probably bet we're going to see a caution at some point. Hopefully not till the end, though. The big one, it has to strike at some point. It's just the nature of the beast. When you come to a track like Talladega, hey, Josh Oshevsky's starting us off with the big donation, $5 in Super Chat. It says, big love to Austin and Matt. Let's go, Based Fox. And we've been wondering where you've been at the last couple weeks, Josh. Clutch Gaming Team, they've got 3 drivers, but they've only had 2. Good to see you out here watching tonight, and hey, big thanks. We certainly appreciate the $5 Super Chat. We're glad you're enjoying it and watching with us here on Ghost Racing Network. Back down to 2 lanes they go. I think maybe they thought better of your 3rd lane here early. And guess who's back up front, Baker? No surprise to see last week's underdog winner, Trevor Osbornoff. Boy, you talk about an exciting one to call. I don't think I've ever been happier to see a guy win, at least in this series, as I was last week. Awesome to see Trevor get the job done. He is one of the guys carrying an onboard cam for us here tonight. And you know what would be even cooler than the win that he got last week? How about somehow getting a 2nd win this week? Wouldn't that be sweet?
That would be awesome to see it. I'm really surprised how calm it is here in the top 20. 20th on deck. They're 3 wide shuffling, offset 3. But you see Cody Nagels take the words right out of my mouth. He goes 3 wide trying to get up towards the front with Ryan Baste. Ryan Baste has done exceptionally well the past 2 weeks. A name that you're not familiar with, but he's definitely been running up front the past 2 weeks. Good to see him putting on a heck of a show and running that one-stop shop paint scheme.
Yeah, he's been cranking up the aggressiveness meter, right? Gets more aggressive, and it's working out very well for him. We saw it in Tuesday Night Thunder. We're seeing it tonight. The other reason things might look a little calmer than usual, not by much, is there's an extra bonus incentive on the line tonight. The driver that finishes the highest with the lowest X count, whatever count you want to call it, however you want to call it, that's going to be an extra $20. So that's going to be a fun one for sure to see who gets it. And remember, net code in these trucks can cost you. So if you want to go for that prize, maybe you think about sticking in the back here the first 20 laps or so, waiting to go to the front near the end. But the big dogs, the guys that are here for the big money, no difference than what we're used to seeing each and every week. Cody Nagels up top, and he does have a push from Ryan Baston. Hold on just a second now. Tucker McClendon in the chat goes ahead and doubles down, $10 Super Chat donation, and that is his first Super Chat. Thank you so much, Tucker McClendon. Glad to see you out here tonight. And we appreciate you leaving us a little tip here early on. Hope you enjoy the rest of the race. Josh Oshevsky says, work sucks, so haven't been racing much. But this week, next vacation at the beach house. I'll be back later in August. Well, we look forward to it. Thanks for letting us know. 3 wide. There is the 43 of Christopher McCall. The issues seem to continue, and he is going to probably need a miracle at this point, Baker, for his race to get turned around in the right direction. Things starting to get a little bit more messy. Jason Maines, he wants to lead. Gabe Butler in the middle. He's going to get a push now from Trevor Osbornoff, 3 wide into turn 3. Going to stay side by side. John Ellis Jr. back up to the middle. The trucks, you always see the guys usually work up to the top line, not so much jumping down to the bottom. But the guys in the front, they're looking for their teammates, and they're trying to plug up those lanes and try to work the temps of the trucks behind so they can stay even. But the bottom is struggling right now, and that's really surprising. Steve Korsak, you know he knows how to push, and he's pushing Ken McCall Jr. with all he's got. It just doesn't seem to be enough right now to make them much progress. Right on board with the driver, the 27, and man, look at it, locked up all the way through turns 1 and 2. And he is not getting off Ken's back bumper. They get a little bit of a run here, but there you see the middle line, just no contest. Whether you side draft or not, they have got the momentum here so far tonight. And that's going to be a tough lane to try to battle. Jason Maines on the top. Cody Nagel still pushing him. There's the 90 truck. Daniel Eberhardt, good to see him in the field tonight. Looks like he might have a different paint scheme. And Sean Hill, Alex, it looks like he's thinking about taking it 4 wide. Not sure how long that's going to watch. We'll have to see how that plays out. Yeah, sure enough, 77 going to have to tuck into the line now behind Jacob Emery in the 20.
You got to practice patience here. He's trying to get hooked up with Merck and try and go top of 4. You just really got to play the patience game, especially with the pit stop coming up. You know, everyone's really trying to get to that pit stop. But as I say that, I mean, we're 3 wide, almost 12 rows deep. This is incredible racing up front, great clean racing. And as we talked about, you know, we said that the bottom was going to be dominant, but as soon as their temps go, it looks like they just shuffle big time.
Yeah, but so far I feel like it's a little bit easier to manage the temps. At least it seems that way with how tight the pack has been for the most part. The usual strategies of some people sitting back waiting for this pit stop, and hey, we're already halfway to that first green flag pit stop. we could see it. Baker, I think it's only going to take seeing one green flag stop, and if we get that one stop, I think that is going to completely split the field, and we'll just start to split more and more the more stops that we can get in. But I think it would probably just be, I'm thinking a 2-stop race. I think that second stop, you don't have to take much fuel. Oh, the 10 truck washing up onto the track. My goodness, was that a close call for Thomas Parker. Oh, man, you know his heart had to skip a beat right there. Holy moly, that was Dustin Carruthers trying to get back up to speed and almost, well, I would say Kevin LePage to the field, but he was able to hold it down and escape any contact.
Yeah, that was so close. It was a great option to go down to the apron, but if once you get on that flat, it really pushes the car up the track if you're not on that banking. This looks like what he did. He got his left sides there and pushed up the track, and then almost was a Kevin LePage.
Well, we're just showing you Jacob Emery back in the 20 truck running right now. Shout out to one of the fellow broadcasters that you've seen if you watch most of our broadcasts in the booth with me a couple times. Tuesday Night Thunder, for the most part, we saw him for a couple races this season. He is currently live on Twitch. Go check him out at Emery Time. Heck of a broadcaster, heck of a racer, and tell you what, Baker, he'd be another one that it would be sweet to see win. Still 3 wide up front, and Baker, I think probably in next 4 laps, maybe 4 more laps, and these guys really got to figure it out and get single file for pit stops.
Yeah, but you know that's not going to happen. No one's going to give. They're going to try and get as much track position as they can. They're used to there being a bunch of wrecks, and you know we're adding another wrinkle to this as you see a clear up to the middle lane. That was a late move. He gets a big shove, gets a little squirrely. Oh, he saves it though. Still great racing up front, 3 wide.
Trevor Osmanoff has been the lead pusher in the middle line for quite some time now. Now all of a sudden that third lane is starting to fade just a little bit. Nash Brambilla in the 23, you see him working his way up here. And how about the 2 KSR teammates that are lined up bumper to bumper? Kenneth Stamper and the 51 of Thomas Parker. These 2 guys, they have all the skill. They're just going to need a little bit of luck. Jason Maines always said it takes, well, I know he said the second part, it takes a lot of luck to win these races, but I feel like it's got to take a lot of skill to get up there as well. Gabe Butler leading the middle. If him and Steve Corset can get linked up, as we've seen in the last couple of weeks, they are going to be a dangerous combo. We'll see what they can do. Another thing to keep an eye on here tonight is going to be, I would say the pit entry more than anything. I mean, I know pit exit can get a little bit tricky, but it's a big pack with 43 trucks. You know that some of the teams are maybe going to try to pit without the rest of the pack, but we're going to have that 1 round of stops, Baker, where we're probably going to see at least 10 to 15 trucks. That's where sometimes things can get a little chaotic, and sometimes that's where we can see a wreck.
Everhart clears down from the top line. Great move for him, shuffling from the middle to the top. Maidens give him a great push down.
Notice how that third lane, it's really fading out here, Baker. Only 3 trucks in it. I think guys are starting to try to think about getting down to the bottom. Sierra Clampert now up inside the top 15. Ryan Baste, one of the last trucks inside the top 10. Michael Triscaro, Cody Nichols, and Jason Maines. They have got to start looking for anybody to let them down. Otherwise, they could be going all the way to the back. There's Richard Elliott, one of your podium finishers last week. First podium in the PGR Thursday Night Heat Series. And how about Daniel Everhart to the lead here at Talladega, takes the bottom. And he is in perfect position right now for the pit stops. You know he is yelling right now, push me, push me, push me. I don't want anybody else getting in front. But Gabe Butler is going to make sure that he is able to get clear, and he takes that position away. And now it just becomes, if you're on the inside, Baker, you try to make as many guys on the outside lines fall back and not be able to get in front of you.
You know, I'm really impressed with right now is Nash. Nash is giving a great push to our past week winner, Trevin, and he's having another great run. He, you know, the luck that he's had, I really feel bad for him, but he's always running up front. Another good run for him. You see people starting to cycle towards the bottom, getting ready for those pit stops. We could be seeing them here in a couple laps.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but tell me the last time we saw green flag pit stops in a PGR race. I could not tell you. I am so excited for this right now. And to the top goes Daniel Everhart. He's one of those guys where he's willing to take the risk to get that extra track position. And he really wants to be the first one to choose his lane down into the pit entry. So he does jump back up top, down the short chute into turn 1. He gets clear. And he drags last week's winner, Trevor Osbornoff, with him. Jasper Villa now leads the top with Ryan Bates. Mark Vondell up here as well. Good run early for the 59 truck. And just as quickly as they start to single file out, Baker, they're back to 2x2. What's up with that?
I think people just are trying to take advantage, trying to gain those positions that they lost with that 3-wide move as Jason Mange, Cody Nagels. As you see Jason slot in, he gets a spot in line. Someone who's fallen off the pace, it looks like he went up top of 3 and then fell completely off the pack is Dylan Jones. So unfortunate for him, he's going to need a caution to get back in this race.
Might see some guys take 2 tires on this first stop. Certainly can't take 4 if you want to stay with the lead pack, but I'm going to go ahead and predict that we drop probably at least 13 trucks. I'm going to say at least 13 trucks if we are able to indeed go through with this pit stop. Looks like in the chat, Tucker McClendon says, decided to just watch tonight instead of race, so I figured only right to tip. Well, you certainly don't have to, but we certainly appreciate it, Tucker. Glad that you're out here watching tonight, and we hope that you enjoy. And Baker, as much money as the winner's going home with tonight, maybe we should have the winner leave us a little tip from now on. No, just kidding, of course, but Trevor Osbornoff back to the lead. Not sure how Eberhard managed to find himself back on the outside line here, but he's got a push from Gabe Butler and Ashburnville trying to creep up to the back bumper. 15 of 40 laps in. Pit stops have got to be all but any second by now. Any lap, rather, and sure enough, here it goes. It's going to be the first round.
Looks like MVG is going to do it. They're really separated. Someone overshoots their pits. They go through the grass. Another one's going to miss the pit road completely down in front of Cody Nagels. Oh!
How did he miss it? How did he miss it, Baker? Cody Nagels. Oh, my goodness. That was a close call. That's Emery. It just looks like he got in too hot.
Absolutely.
Let's back that up and take a look. And, man, if he was going to get a speeding ticket, he did it in style here. I mean, just fortunately not really that close for the 20. He sees the 6 and the 761. He's trying to check up. Oh, man, the 761 completely blew it into the grass. Goes William Fox. I think he might have been able to avoid a penalty, though. And then once Emmer gets in the grass, it's slick, just spins it out. Oh, I cannot get over how Cody Nagels missed him, though. Let's go back live here, though, because we're getting ready for our second round of pit stops. And Eberhardt's going to lead the charge here. Look to see McCall Motorsports go. No one goes, so Eberhardt's going to make the move of trying to pull back up on track. Realizes nobody's going to let him up. Now Ellis cuts him a huge break. That'll pay dividends later. Eberhardt's not going to forget that. That was a really, really veteran, kind of conservative move for Ellis to let Eberhardt back up, avoid causing any chaos. But there's still 2x2. Sierra Clampert up to the 4th position on that outside line, just behind Michael Triscaro. And your new leader is Nash Brambilla here with 24 laps to go.
Man, I just don't understand the move from MVG to pit early there. That it really didn't make any sense. They didn't get hooked up. They weren't near each other for the pit stop. So they definitely shuffled themselves way out. The pack is running them down.
You're right, Baker, because we talked about with the new draft package, the more trucks, the better. But maybe this works out, right? Maybe there's more chaos on the pit road when we see more trucks. Gabe Butler's going to peel off to Steve Corsa, go with him. Looks like he does. And, Butler with a big lockup. There's no way he made that. I don't think. We'll have to see. 88 was hard on the brakes, had it locked up for about the last, I'd say, 150 feet at least. Steve Korsak gets pretty close just behind him. Those two trucks only pitting together. They're going to need the rest of the field to pit here soon, Baker. I know you save a couple of laps in draft, but I got to think these guys are about running on fumes by this point.
Oh, absolutely they are. But, I think playing the long game is exactly what you want to do. Even though they're shuffling 3 wide, they're going crazy down the backstretch, but they're still carrying way more speed than the people who pitted before.
Trevor Osbornoff, NASCAR and Villa. Again, KSR, one of the bigger teams in here, but they're always sneaky about it, right? We're not always seeing them up at the front all the time, but we're going to have another round of pit stops. Oh, the 22 gets spun. That's going to be a shot into the outside wall for Zach. Nobody else makes any contact with them. A lot of lockups on the pits. You talk about chaos. That is chaos at its best. Oh, my goodness. We have a ton of trucks, and somehow all but one of them are able to make it in clean. The 22 of Zach Range. He just now gets it spun back. He's going to lose all sorts of time. Probably has damage now as well. That's a tough break for him. But, Baker, that was pretty much the entire field for the guys that were still out.
Yeah, it's good for those guys. They're going to have a huge draft coming up. But you see MVG's now hooked up. They took them a couple laps. They're just now about to exit 4 here.
And I think they're going to be okay, but it's hard to say here. We'll have to watch. We know a lot of these trucks will kind of act as bridge trucks, if you will, and there's NBG working their way through the travel now. Yeah, they're going to be just fine here. They've caught the draft off the back of the trucks, and not sure what has happened here. And there we go. Sorry about that. Had a internet spike or something go on there. Apologies for that. As we see Richard Elliott, the last truck that hasn't pit, he's going to go ahead and make his way down the pits now. And Baker, I think that might be a mistake from the 02. It's going to be really hard for him to stay with the rest of the pack right here.
Yeah, everyone's really separated here. Danny's going to go high. Looks like NASCAR Bill is going to push from Jason. They had their best pit stop they could with John Ellis. These four are going to walk away. Trevor Osbornoth is in there as well. Great run from this man. Showing that last week wasn't a fluke, and he's here to stay.
And you see NASCAR Bill go flying by as Richard Elliott is just now pulling off the pit. So yeah, that late stop is really going to hurt his strategy. I think he's going to be one of the guys that needs a caution here if he wants a shot at it. NASCAR Brambilla, though, leading the way here, and already 21 laps to go. These things fly by when we keep them green. Jason Maines at second, John Ellis Jr. third, and I don't think they're far enough out. I think this pack is going to be able to track them down, especially when you look at the top 5 trucks leading that second pack. Heck, top 7 trucks. I mean, the best of the best. You know that Matt Lee is pushing his teammate with all he's got. Cody Nagels is going to stay nice and tight, and we're expecting one more pit stop here, but I don't think you make that stop until you catch the lead draft.
Definitely, and they're going to track them down. There's just too many trucks back there. We've seen what a lot of trucks do, but know that they're going to be off cycle. But the good news is now they are hooked up together. It's exactly what you want to see from MBG. They're tracking them down. They're leading this big pack towards them, and they'll get there within at least 5 laps.
Well, I'll tell you what's not happening, or what's not helping, is this battle right here between Chris Blanchard, John Mullihan, and Trevor Osbornoth. They're all technically in the lead pack, but they just keep staying side by side, so nobody's really gaining anything. They're just kind of hanging there, losing more time to that pack that's catching from behind. Now, I guess it's important to note, rather, that Chris Blanchard is actually trying not to lose a lap. That could be part of the reason Mullihan's working with him. There's Chris on the bottom right. Easily has one of the most insane setups you'll see in here. Has the hydraulic chair. That thing moves around. I'm not sure if he's got it on right now, but pretty cool for Chris. Up front, though, your top 3, Nash Brambilla, Jason Maines, John Ellis Jr., and there is Trevor Osbornoth now linked up with John Mullihan. That second pack continues to close it down, and they have made it to the back of that first little island, all involved with that first pack. They're going to go around the outside. This might cost him just a slight bit of time, but I'd say they get there probably sometime within the next 3 laps.
And definitely Dylan Jones is a slow car here. Looks like he's going to tuck down to the bottom. He does. MBG's going to roll, try and get to them.
And what does Nash Brambilla, Jason Maines, and John Ellis Jr. do? Of course, John and Jason teammates. Baker, is there any thought about, do they think about jumping up here, maybe trying to block a lane, or do you just kind of have to let it happen at this point?
I think you just gotta let it happen. You know, these guys are short on fuel. Well, not short on fuel. They're just on a different strategy. Why not get them out there, have them burn that fuel? But Trevor's gonna go up. He's not really understanding the big picture here, but you know the Maines group is. They're gonna let him roll, stay behind Nash, and get as many trucks in front of them so they can run it out as long as possible. They had great separation last time. If they can get off pit road a little bit better, I think they can separate themselves.
Great separation mixed with probably, 2 or 3 laps less fuel that they're gonna have to take. That could be the winning strategy. I think the thing they're hoping for right now the most is that we don't see a caution. Now, I predicted that we would lose 13 trucks out of the lead pack, so I thought we would still have 30 up here. We don't even have that many. In fact, we probably have less than 20. Yeah, sure enough, looks like we have actually just about 20. J.R. Miller looking like the last truck in this pack here, just in front of Brock Westmoreland. They're all catching up. 3 wide up front. We do have a couple packs after that. Right now, 35 trucks on the lead lap. Everybody else a lap down, fighting for the lucky dog. And then Zach Range, who was involved in that spin onto the pits, currently being scored 2 laps down. Field going by Mike Davenport. And man, Baker, they don't look like they know that there's another green flag stop, because they are back to 3 wide racing. But if they run it out here, what lap are you expecting that final pit stop?
I think it'll be with 8 to go, and for MBG, it's probably going to be around 10 to go. They're going to try and short pit both of these and try and separate themselves, but they need to clear down to make that happen.
3 trucks on the top, but the momentum seems to still be there for Daniel Eberhard. And now it looks like dropping to the bottom is going to be Jeff Merck. Thought Eberhard would get clear the middle. He didn't. Ooh, almost some contact between him and Matt Lee. And they're coming up on William Fox, and he might want to get out of Dodge, because it is going to get crazy if they go 4 wide at this point. Looks like in the chat, John says, hey guys, good luck PGR. I'm assuming that's John Darnell. Tough to see leave early. Joshua Watson says, go get him. Richard Elliott repping JBR. Josh, you missed last week. Your teammate got the win in the first race, and none of you guys, not the win, excuse me, got a podium in the first race. You guys weren't there, but he went home with a ton of money. Looks like Julia Paul says, go Nash. And John says, Matt Baker, best race control, Ghost Racing Network, best in the business. I was wearing my GRN merch when I got hooked, lol. Thanks for the broadcast, says Baker's mom. Thank you all. We hope you're enjoying. Baker, it's been a phenomenal race so far, and these guys, they had enough green flag laps so far tonight where it seems like they're comfortable. I mean, the 3 wide looks very smooth. You're not seeing a lot of bobbing and weaving, what we usually see.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's making my job as race control pretty hard. You know, I had to just throw cautions, and everyone would stack up now and having to go around the track, this big 2.66 mile Talladega Speedway, and look around for incidents that are going on all over the track. I mean, there's action all over the track with these 3 separate packs.
And I guess I should say the opposite. Merck, got to be careful here. Almost gets split 4 wide. That's going to cause a little checkup on the bottom. Nash does a good job keeping it out of the back bumper. Boy, that was close. That could have ended really bad. But everybody, again, does a nice job of staying conservative, keeping yourself with a good chance. And we're going to be coming to 14 laps to go next time.
Huge run from the middle. I mean, they got 3 trucks clear there, and you saw 3
squeezing.
trucks on the outside clear.
Sorry to cut you off. Keep going, Baker. That was close.
You're fine. That was very, very, it looked almost coordinated what the 3rd and 2nd lane did there to clear down to the bottom and middle. That was unbelievable, the runs they had. That just shows you how bad the bottom gets once the temps start to go. If you don't manage your temps well on the bottom, you're going to get rolled.
And it almost looks like a funnel, at least it did in that case, where everybody got clear and it kept getting more and more narrow as they got closer to Ryan Baste. And, man, they almost squeezed him. That would have ended in the big one. But how about the 73 of Ryan Baste? Again, you talked about him earlier with the great run. That's continuing right here. Got the job done during the green flag pit stop. And now he finds himself currently in 6th position. 2nd green flag stop. I think we're going to drop a couple more trucks because we know it's going to be harder. There's still a big group up here. So, of course, it's still going to be chaotic getting onto the pits. But tires are also older, and guys aren't probably going to take tires. So getting out is going to be a little bit more tricky. But how about the late surge here now from McCall Motorsports as they are jumping to the outside. Here we go. And how many?
Looks like a money stop for MBG. They had 2 takers with him. It looks like they got Dale Cup to go with him, Steve Korsek and Gabe Butler as well.
And Korsek and Butler, they know they have the speed to keep with these guys. They just wanted to pit on the pit stops. And I think that's actually going to benefit NBG in this case. We'll have to see how it pans out for all these guys. And I think the leaders can go at least probably another 3 or 4 laps at the minimum. Maybe more 3 to be safe, but here comes Sean Hill and Matt Lee. Who's going to win the race out of pit road? It's going to be Steve Korsek. Cody's going to just go right on through him there. And Matt Lee's going to check up to give him a push. These guys got to get organized really quick. And now the question just becomes, when do the leaders decide to pit? They are a mess right now. The 3 wide doesn't look all that natural. Here comes McCall Motorsports, followed by the Mains boys.
I mean, that pit stop by MBG and Dale Cup was
Donald Stringer's in
perfection.
the grass. Saves it.
There is action going on all over this track.
Oh, he spins Jason! Oh, no! That is not what Jason wanted to see. Ron Morris Jr. spins out Jason Mains on accident, trying to get into his box. Oh, and then Jason overshoots. He is not going to be a happy person about that. He is going to lose all the track position right here. He's going to need a caution. Baker, did you happen to catch that? Oh, man, that's just 2 guys not being coordinated. One had to get down. The other one is not. And Jason, he's going to have to work really hard here and hope that he can catch a draft. Something's telling me Baker might be dealing with that down in race control right now, as I figured they wouldn't be too happy about it. Here comes the final group for pit stops. Dylan Jones, Daniel Eberhardt, Nash Brambilla. Everybody gets in nice and clean again. Christopher McCall has to check up as he was 3 wide with like Kenneth Stamper, Trevor Osmernoth, and Michael Triscaro. This group getting in smooth. This should be the last group as well for the pit stops. I take that back, actually. We do still have some guys that have not pitted yet. Going to be coming to 10 laps to go. Can you believe it already? Joshua Watson in chat says, oh, also congrats on the win last night. Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. I was proud of that one. Hey, I get to say that I won in the league that I broadcast for. Pretty cool there. Anthony Castle says, let's go base. Casey Phillips with WTF. I got to agree with you on that, Casey. Yeah, that's a tough one. Looks like we may have had another incident here with Thomas Parker. Did he just come to a stop? No, he just comes to a stop here. Not sure what happened with the 51. Must have had some sort of technical difficulty. These are your current leaders. Some more of them we're going to pit. Will it be the rest of them? It's going to at least be a decent group of them. Ooh, Sean Corbett's getting it really hot. That's the slam on the brakes. He's going to spin in front of Sierra. Makes slight contact with the inside wall. That causes Sierra to check up pretty big. She makes it on the pit road. How much time did she lose, though? Danny Esterman now in front. Dustin Carruthers in second. Excuse me, William Scott in second. Mark Vondell third. Heath Job in fourth. And Sean Corbett, first truck on pit road for that group, currently sits in fifth. Let's go to the battle for what's going to be the lead once it all cycles out. And with 10 laps to go, Cody Nagels does lead the way for it. Steve Korsak second, but they're going to all bail on him here. I think this was coordinated by NBG as you see Cody staying to the top. Gabe Butler sees that, though. He's going to jump right up to the middle to help his teammate. Here comes Daniel Eberhard up top with Dylan Jones. Matt Lee now jumps back to the middle. That opens the bottom up for Sean Hill and Jeff Merck.
Huge battle coming in as you see the leaders going down pit road. That'll relegate the lead back to this 3-wide battle that's happening as they are approaching John Ellis.
It's still 3 wide, but that third lane is starting to fade in a hurry. Dylan Jones, David Sheets. Looks like David's teammate, Ken McCall Jr., he is going to go ahead and hop up, try to help that line make some momentum. And Baker, sure enough, looks like we did drop off a couple more trucks. You expected that. Now, I'm assuming you had some insight there onto Jason Mains's radio. I'm thinking he wasn't too happy with that incident.
No, he wasn't too happy. He was clogging up the radios, had to tell him to quiet down, and once he did, they kept the comms clear. But definitely, he told him that he was going to give him a lane to come down, and Ron Morris just turned across his nose. So understand the frustration for sure.
And Jason now running behind the 76. Got to be frustrating when you know that you're just pushing the guy that you unfortunately got tangled up with, and your chances of potentially getting the win here tonight could be over. Going to be coming to 8 laps to go. Tighten the belts. Gloves are off here. It is all about a sprint to the finish at this point. No more scheduled pit stops. The only question will be if we do get a green-white checkered, who had fuel for it? Steve Korsak now leads the middle. Eberhard pushing him up top. 2 teammates, Matt Lee and Cody Nagels. And on the bottom, the other 2 NBG teammates, Sean Hill and Jeff Merck. Joshua McCall just behind them. There's Kenneth Stamper. Jacob Emery in the 20 truck sits up here. Unfortunately, I don't think he's on the lead lap after what we saw was the mistake on pit road. And yeah, sure enough, finds himself a lap down right now, trying to see if he can fight for that lucky dog position. 3 wide, you could tell Baker pushing, starting to come to shove.
Absolutely, and you see NBG trying to dominate the top and bottom lanes, but the middle lane is where you need to be, especially behind Danny Eberhard. He's trying to get Steve Korsak clear. Eberhard is double blinking. I'm hearing it over the radio right now. Look for his truck to maybe pop. He has to push as hard as he can. Steve Korsak's not going to clear down. He's going to try and run him out of attempts here.
And I don't know if I would have said what I'm about to say too many nights, but tonight I can say I think we're ready for 4 wide. And I certainly wouldn't be surprised if we see it at some point. But right now with NBG having the bottom, the middle, and the top locked up, that's pretty much your only option if you're looking to go to the front. And there's a couple guys that I can name offhand that are willing to think about that move. But Korsak gets clear of the top. I look to see him jump up to the top lane here any minute now. I was waiting for Cody to maybe get a run. Yeah, the third lane's fading. I wonder if Matt Lee just eventually got too hot. We saw him pushing pretty hard for the last 5 laps or so.
Definitely, and he's going to tuck back in line to the middle, leave out Cody Nagels, his teammate, maybe try and swap and get himself in front of Cody, and then they'll make another push towards the front. Yeah, and they're going to have to make that push soon because we're coming to 6 laps to go now. Cody still in that third line with Dylan Jones. Sure enough, there's the move. Matt Lee gets up top, but it's still going to take him some time to get that momentum going. He's trying to get a side draft off Gabe Butler. Can't quite get there, so he's going to tuck back in line. Now here goes David Sheets. He looks to the outside. He's going to get some help from his teammate. Matt Lee not able to make the move in time. We'll see if McCall Motorsports can go to the front. Big move now. Steve Korsak takes the lead on the bottom. Definitely what he needed to do. Eberhard goes high. He's going to leave out Sean Hill. He's going to try and get a push to the top lane from David Sheets. Get a help. And David Sheets going to go for wide. They mix it up a little bit. They're still... Oh, they all save it. Wow.
They all save it. I think that's the experience from the laps that we've got to run under green so far here tonight. Goes back down to 2 wide here yet again. Going to be coming to 5 laps to go. There's the wreck. Can they save it? Do they save it? They do yet again. No, Dylan Jones back up into the outside wall. 1 truck spinning. Does he slide down? Have a second truck now spun off of 4 down to the inside wall, and a couple more actually, it looks like. And you know what, Baker? I can't even be mad at it. 35 laps of green flag, phenomenal green flag racing at the very least. First caution of the night falls with 5 laps to go, and it is going to send us into overtime. let's go back and take a look. They had a couple incidents here starting from, I would say, the backstretch all the way on, but eventually finally caught up in turns 3 and 4. That's where the incident finally occurred. Let's take a look at the TV follow view here. Actually, let's go to the blimp cam. I take that back. And that's a terrible camera. All right, here we go. Chopper view. There might have been 2 wrecks here. Oh, Jeff Merck running up the track just a little bit. He had Joshua McCall behind him. Yeah, he may have gotten pushed up there here. See, there's going to be, yes, oh no. I think Jeff just got slight tunnel vision from when Steve jumped up. That's what it looks like from this view. Is watch how quick the 27 jumps up. And I'm telling you, when a driver jumps up that quick, when you're zoomed in on their bumper, you're getting ready to bump them, sometimes you just follow them as a driver. It's just natural. And that's going to be where there's going to be slight contact here. Watch it slowly. Jeff just slightly washes up, makes some contact with his teammate, and then coming back down here. It's going to cause a checkup. That's not where the first wreck occurs, but then unfortunately, looks like Joshua McCall is going to get turned as they're all trying to check up. And the 30 of Kenneth Stamper as well. They're trying to save it. Dylan Jones checks up. Him and Jacob Emery get together. There's where the 11 truck gets turned into the wall. And there you see the secondary wreck with Jacob Emery. Looks like collecting Richard Elliott, which was unfortunate because Richard Elliott, as Joshua Watson just said, the strategy worked out well as he did get back up to the lead pack, but getting caught up in that wreck is definitely going to cost him. Let's take a couple more looks at that. And John says happened last week to meet the tunnel vision. Yeah, it's happened to me plenty of times. It happens to Baker once in a while. It's just it's hard to tell. That's why a lot of times, especially if you have the option to, you're telling the driver in front of you, like, let me know if you're getting clear, or if you're going to take it. Usually the better way to take it is quick. But in that case, I think it still just caught Jeff Merck just a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. And on another note, looks like John Ellis is the lucky dog, so Jason Maines and Jones are going to get their teammate back. Jones is still a lap down, I think, and he was involved in that wreck, so he won't get his lap back, but at least the Maines group are going to have 2 people in the fight this time.
And none of those trucks in that wreck, except for Dylan Jones, maybe really hit too hard. I think there might be a couple fast repairs, if not, at the worst, a lot of damage. Nobody pitting here, though, is still going to keep most of these trucks trapped a lap down, the guys that were lap down, that is. And, yeah, you can see it 34th on back, a lap down. Looks like Danny Barnes next in line for the lucky dog, depending on if we get another caution or not. And Christopher McCall is still being scored 2 laps down. So you got Steve Korosek leading the way, Sean Hill, Alex Hill. Got to get used to that. He just changed his name back recently in 2nd. Gabe Butler 3rd. And a quick note on that, Alex Hill is up 30 positions from where he started. Gabe Butler 3rd, Jeff Merck in 4th, Matt Lee in 5th. And let's see if we can get an interview from one of these guys. How about see if we can bring old Jeff Merck in here. All right, Matthew Baker standing by with his teammate here, Jeff Merck.
Hey, Mark, it's Matt and Austin up in the booth. You got a copy?
What's up, Baker? What's up, buddy?
Well, you guys have been running up front. Talk to me about what happened there with that stack up on the bottom line and what you saw.
It was really weird. It almost like Corset got caught in between 2 lines. If I didn't check there, I was going to kill him because he was like trying to split lines. It's like he got halfway up, kind of hesitated, a big checkup on the bottom, and it probably, if I had to guess, accordioned all the way back to somebody that wasn't paying attention, and somebody probably got turned, if I had to guess.
Yeah, it just looks like it was a big accordion effect. Everyone's trying to get the real estate and get around the slower cars, and it caused the wreck. But, I mean, 35 laps green is definitely a feat here, definitely a PGR record. A lot of fun to watch you guys. Hopefully you guys get it done.
Oh, yeah, that was something. I think that's some of the best racing we've had over here at PGR. I mean, it was just strategy, pushing, drafting, side drafting. It's great racing all around. So good fun, and NBG's going to go try to go get this win.
And I got a quick question for you here too, Merck. If you get the win this week, do we get to see you wear the helmet with your new sim rig next week?
Maybe. It's hanging on. I don't know if you can see it. It's actually hanging on the wall over there behind me. I might have to throw it on for you guys when I do the burnout. How's that?
Hey, that works for me. Hey, thanks for talking to us. We'll see if we talk to you here in a couple laps.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Baker, I don't know about you, but I see the helmet here in the picture. I'm going to see it in real life.
Yeah, I want to see it on when he's burning it down, but You know, his luck has been awful the past probably month, 2 months racing with him. He's such a great guy to race with, and I really want to see a podium finish, if not a win from him here. I would love to see that.
You know what I'd like to see here is us to finish this thing on our first green, white checkered with a great finish, because the rest of the night has been phenomenal. 2 cautions in the LCQ and only 1 caution in 40 plus laps that we have ran here so far tonight. Well, going to be 40 plus here this time around. Alejandro says, is Merc not using a wheel? He is. Got the new setup and everything set up. But, all right, here we go. Overtime number 1, green, white checkers. We got 3 of them, but hopefully we only need 1 of them. Korosek and Hill in row 1, Butler and Merc row 2, teammates Lee and Nagels in row 3. Green flag is back in the air, potentially for the final time here at Talladega.
And this is not a green, white checkered attempt, but I see wrecking in the back, 1 truck spin off, and he's going to go down to the grass. We're not going to throw a caution there, but this is a natural green light. Oh, they're going to get turned. Oh, Everhart, Matthew Lee, they're wrecking.
And I take that back about the overtime, but this is a big wreck. This is going to bring out the caution. And there it is. And, well, maybe I shouldn't have said overtime, because now that is where we're headed. And that was the big one. See how many guys this takes out here. We've just been checking in the back. But what's going to go wrong up front? Looked like Eberhard was one of the first guys to go spinning. And Matt Lee, how does he get himself in the middle here? Let's take a look at where it all goes wrong. You see Daniel Eberhard going to be the 4th truck in line on the inside, and when they cross the line, he takes advantage. He takes that inside, and it squeezes down. I mean, that's one of those ones. If you're Matt Lee, it's kind of a respect thing in the sense of you kind of don't expect the guy behind you to do that, but at the same time, it is open, and we know how aggressive Daniel Eberhard is, and he was willing to take the risk there, and it seemed like it was okay in the sense of those 2, but then I don't know if John Mullihan doesn't realize they're 3 wide, and things just start to get really tight right here. And then Matt Lee is just going to get up and slightly into Mullihan, I think. You see Matt Lee comes down, doesn't want to hit Eberhard. He comes up, and by that time, there's just not really any room left. Makes some contact. Eberhard and Mullihan both going to go up into the outside wall. Looks like that might have been David Sheets involved. Mark Vondel slides by. Richard Elliott got tagged in the side. Not sure how bad it was. So maybe not the big one. Looks like most of the guys were able to get through it unscathed. Let's take a couple more views of it. And that's just, you know, if you're Matt Lee, again, you're not going to be too happy. I feel like he's probably feeling like, from his standpoint, there was a little more respect there in the sense of he probably didn't think he would get taken down low, because if you look at it, he could take the 88 down low, decides not to, though. But, hey, either way, it happened, and we're going to have another restart here. Let's take a couple more quick looks, though. Man, collects a bunch of them. They all eventually slide down to the bottom, as I know that view did not give you anything useful. So let's go ahead and try a different one here. I apologize for that. And whenever Hart comes up, they're lucky this doesn't take out more guys, though. I think the 4 truck may have snuck by in the middle. There goes John Ellis Jr. But how about we do indeed ride on board with Philip Wilkinson in the 4 truck? I think he may have snuck by this. Let's see. So at this point, they'd already wrecked out in front. This was pretty much when the wreck was all about over, so let's back it up a little more. Sees it in front, dives extra low. You know who else made it through that one? Looks like Sierra Clamper did. And right here, yeah, he's good to go. Through it with no issues. Second caution of the night falls in the last 2 laps of regulation, which does indeed mean it's going to send us to an overtime finish now. Let's head over and talk about these payouts real quick before Baker hops back in. We can ask him a little bit more about what it looked like from his point of view for that incident. Payouts tonight, this was based off 50 entries. We had 43 making the race, but you got to remember we had an LCQ, so we did have over 50. Unless I'm tripping here. I might be missing something. We'll double check on that. Either way, these payouts should be pretty close. If nothing else. Actually, no, I take that back. I think we had 46. All right, sorry, correction on that. I believe we had 46 drivers.
And so it's right here.
All right, go ahead.
Payouts for first going to be 200. Second's going to be 150. 125 to third. 100 to fourth and fifth. And sixth and seventh are getting 75 and 60. And the LCQ already paid out to Dylan Jones $30.
Pretty sweet payouts, as it's been every week. $20. I think it's that sweet spot. You know, we've kind of ranged around from 16 to 20. I think 20 is a pretty good spot to be in, considering you get a chance at an LCQ win for $30. And then, I mean, $250. Think about the profit margins there. We could see a new winner tonight, though. Steve Korosek, as good as he is, it's surprising to say that he could be a new winner. You'd think he'd have quite a few by now. But he's still looking to find himself in victory lane here for the PGR Thursday Night Heat Series. Baker, did you hear anything on that last wreck?
Say that again. Sorry, I was talking race control again.
No worries. We were saying, well, speaking of race control, we're saying, did you hear anything about that last wreck there? It looked like maybe Eberhard kind of forcing an issue that was technically a lane, and then they just kind of bottled up.
I mean, I really don't understand why they run in the middle lane. Eberhard has every reason to go to the yellow line. He has a full truck length, so I called it a racing deal because, you know, Mollahan's not going to know that he's top of three entering the corner, but Eberhard has every right to go down there. If those guys are going to run in the middle lane, then they can run in the middle lane if they want. They're leaving that bottom open. But, you know, Lee just got put in a bad situation there. Mollahan didn't know he was top of three, turned down into him, and you know, it's not on any drivers. It's just a racing deal, but, you know, there's no need for calling out people saying they're intentionally wrecking and everything.
No, I think I would have to agree on that. I mean, from the initial view, from my point of view, All right, sorry about the technical difficulties. Back live at Talladega Superspeedway. Yeah, for some reason, looks like Dottie and Fun Times letting us know it froze. That's, I think, the first time, I can't tell you how long, my internet completely had dropped all of a sudden and disconnected us. We got lucky, though. Well, we got lucky. Jason Maines, not so much. He got turned during that second green-white checkered, which was the only thing that you missed while we were out there during the outage. So he got turned into the outside wall. But besides that, no real changes. Top 5 here are going to be Alex Hill, Jeff Merck, Cody Nagel, Steve Korsak, and Nash Brambilla. And Baker, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is our final restart.
No, so this is going to be the second green-white checkered.
Oh, yeah, because
that first
the first
start
one, yep.
was a natural green-white checkered. It wasn't an official one.
So we still have our 3 green-white checkers, but this one being the second one. Now, the third one, the way it works is a little interesting to a certain degree. If we could still wreck on the first lap, however, there's not going to be a caution. We're going to race it out the rest of the way. Race control, I believe, lets it go. But hopefully we don't even have to go that far, hoping that we could finish it up right here. And again, do apologize about what happened there with that technical delay. But again, no, you didn't miss anything important here. Jason Maines was the only truck that had an issue there spun. And in fact, as of right now, looks like he finds himself back in 35th position. Did he have a fast spare? Yeah, he did. He took it. But that's a lot of ground to try to make up in the course of 2 laps. Want to go signal here, Baker. NBG has row 1 and half of row 2, but Korsak and Gabe Butler, do you think they stay nice and stay in line behind Jeff Merck, or do they go 3 wide here?
I think they're going to go for the win, and this track temp, I don't think that third lane's really going to make the charge. You know, it's been dominant throughout the run, but this is a green-white checkered. The track temp right now is sitting around, let's see, 73 degrees still because the weather's constant. It's not going to move. It hasn't heated up throughout the day. We've kept the time at 7:30 a.m. We haven't had any weather moving around here, so it's still bottom side dominant, and the track is really tacked up on the bottom with all these green flag laps. A lot of people rolling the bottom. I think the bottom is the place to be, and you have 2 teammates lined up right there.
And PGR will be back, of course, next week. Me and Matthew Baker will be back in the booth as well. Next place that I had, though, here on Ghost Racing Network is going to be over to the NOMA Truck Series on Saturday. I believe they're heading to Auto Club. That's going to be a good one. Make sure you don't miss out on that. Getting ready to go back green, the second overtime. Jeff Merck on the outside. He's going to get all his momentum on the backstretch, but I don't look to see him drop clear unless he doesn't really have much of a choice. Sierra Clampert, she's pretty close to the money. Well, let's take that back. A little bit more work than it initially looked like. 2x2 rows can be deceiving. Back in 17th, she's going to have to pick off at least probably 10 more positions or so to be comfortable. We'll see what she can do, but more importantly, we will see what they can do up front. Green flag is back in the air. 2 laps to go at Talladega.
I think Sean Hill goes up in front of Merck. He does. That's a great call. I think Nash Brambilla is going to push for everything he's worth on the bottom here. And you're going to have NBG lined up by 2 in the middle. That's going to force the hand of Dale Cup to go 3 wide instantly out of turn 2 here.
Cody Nagel still on the bottom. Sean Hill up top. No move yet from Dale Cup. They stay in line. Gabe Butler looks like he was ready to go. His teammate is not, though. J.R. Miller, where did he come from? He is now back up 4th on the outside line. Michael Triscaro, he could have a shot at this thing as well. There goes last week's winner. And another one of the KSR boys, Kenneth Stamper, Trevor Osmanoff to the top line. Michael Triscaro's going to follow Merck up into the outside wall. He's going to keep it there. We're going to stay green. Can everybody get through? Still no contact. We're coming to the white flag. There's the move from Steve Korsak. Gabe Butler's going to go with his teammate. J.R. Miller looks to the bottom. White flag is in the air one more time around.
Nash Brambilla leading the bottom. He's going to push from Kenneth McCullough. They're 4 wide coming into turn 1. This is a great battle, 3x3. Maybe that 4th line could get something ginned up. He's in the outside wall on the 4th lane. They're going to lose all that momentum. They're door banging on the bottom and middle lanes. Sean Hill giving a great push to Cody, but the outside's going to have the run here.
A lot of side drafting going on. Got to be careful here, fellas. Keep it clean.
Here it comes
3
again.
wide. Still 4 wide. Here we go on the outside line. Is that Danny Esserman looking for the win? He is going to get a push now from John Ellis Jr. Where did he come from? A little bit of blinking. Got to be careful here. Still 4 wide. Off of turn 4 for the final time. Nagels and Brambilla in the bottom 2 lanes. Steve Korsak, Gabe Butler. They have lost the run. Can they make another push? They're trying to wreck out back. They are. They're going to wreck out back. It's going to be a 5-truck battle up front. But at the line with the big push from his teammate, Cody Nagels is going to win it at Talladega.
Oh, and Steve Korosek gets turned right before the line. I don't know if he made it in the money. He didn't.
And that is heartbreak for the Dale Cup driver. Neither him or Gabe Butler, who looked so strong on that last lap, just faded out when they got 4 wide, and bad luck got the best of them again. But how about the finish from NBG Motorsports? And don't forget about the move that we saw last week with Alex Hilton. Team felt like he may have been a little impatient. Boy, he did a heck of a job this week, staying patient right there at the end and making sure he stuck to his teammate, and the strategy worked out well. NBG's going to be going home with a lot of money from this one.
And great job from Cody and Sean all day staying up front. Sean through the LCQ, made it into the money. We'll look at the results afterwards and see who the finisher with the highest finishing with no incidences, but it looks like it's probably going to be one of these two.
Let's go back and take a look at this wreck. The final lap, the 16. I mean, they're 4 wide. It's just, they just jumble up eventually. See the 88 and the 34 getting a little tight. They just kind of finally squeeze together. The 16, just nowhere to go. And then they all get turned. This is the final battle here. Steve Korosek looks like he was fine here. Does Danny come down or does Steve come up? It looks like, oh no, Steve actually, it's a little bit of netcode between him and the 78 of JR Miller. And yeah, that turns the 78 who gets upside down. 27 with the big hit, and as you noted, did not make it to the line in the money. And there's the finish. Kendrick Call Jr. and Aspen Bill, John Ellis Jr. also all getting in the money. A couple more things to look at right here. Watch this wreck here for JR Miller. This gets ugly. This thing goes flipping pretty wildly. 78 machine, there's the slight net code. Boom, into the outside wall. Upside down, almost gets tagged, comes across the line, 18th. Now, I got a couple people wondering in the chat, what happened to Jeff Merck? He was the first truck, finished 32nd, that was involved in the issue here. This was back in turns 3 and 4 a lap ago, so we're going to have to go all the way back to the first lap. And he just got, I think does he just get shoved out of line? Let's take a look from the chopper view. Again, more bad luck strikes for Jeff Merck. We're not going to get to see the helmet on tonight, but here you go. Looks like, oh yeah, Steve goes to the middle. Steve, it was a tight hole. It was really, really tight, but it looks like initially Steve was able to get there. Hold on, let's take another look at this. So initially, Steve does find the hole. It's, I mean, really, really narrow. So narrow that Asprambilla makes slight contact when he moves up just a little bit. That sends Steve up into Merck, sending Merck up to the outside wall. Merck does a good job keeping it up here to not wreck anyone else. Fortunately, ruins his own race in the process. And there is the finish at the start-finish line. We'll take one more view just to see how close it was. But it wasn't that close because Sean Hill stuck behind his teammate just about all the way until the end. Right start-finish line pulls out, and Asprambilla had a run, but just not enough time. We are going to go get interviews from your top 3. Stick with us. We'll be right back. Back live at Talladega Superspeedway. Matthew Baker has his hands full with race control right now, trying to sort out all the craziness going on in that last lap. But let's start with your third place finisher, Nash Brambilla. Nash, this is all set up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, it was a good run all night. You looked fast. You looked like you were out there to win. At the end there, you get the podium finish. Do you feel like you wanted more, or are you happy with the way your run went tonight?
Yeah, I mean, when you look out the window on the last lap and you don't see anybody, you always want the win. So definitely kind of disappointing, but I'll definitely take a third, man. It's a good payday, and got my Vikings truck back, and it brought me some good luck.
Well, you were one of the guys that, of course, didn't have to worry about the LCQ. You qualified into just the feature. But how are you liking this new format? Less trucks. Did you feel like the racing was better tonight?
Yeah, I mean, with the no cautions, that always helps. Last week was a little different, but yeah, I think it's really good. I mean, if you have a single car spin or something, you can work your way up a lot easier with 43 versus 60. But yeah, I think it promotes better racing and it promotes the better drivers to come compete and try to win.
Well, good finish tonight. Going to be a good payday for sure. Hey, before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, I got to thank my PGR boys. JR had it there at the end and then got hooked for some reason. And then Danielle Eberhardt was working with us. Thank him. Thank my girlfriend. She's with me tonight watching. And yeah, thank my sponsor, Brandbill Lease Systems. And let's go Vikings. And obviously, thank you guys for the great broadcast, man. I love to watch you guys.
Well, thanks for talking to us, and one more congratulations on your third place finish here tonight.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good night.
You too. All right, let's bring in your second place finisher, Alex Hill. Alex, this is all stuff to the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Well, at the end there, I know it had to be tempting, but you stayed patient, you stuck with your teammate, and it paid off. Tell us about the race.
Oh yeah, it was a pretty clean race into those last few green whites. I didn't start, and we made it out. I reset on my qualifying lap way too late, and that was by accident, not on purpose. So yeah, we were just trapped in the back most of the race. We pitted, we cycled up to the front somehow, and we got it done.
Certainly did. Well, the teamwork in general for NBG looked a lot better tonight. Before Merck got turned, you had 3 guys up inside the top 4. What was the difference this week?
Yeah, we're just keeping our cool, staying composed. We're really just taking the time and just being smart with our moves. We're not making any dumb, aggressive moves. We're just trying to stay safe for the last few laps. So,
thanks for talking to us. Before we let you go, though, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
yeah, thank you to everyone at NBG, Cody, Matt, both Matts, Merck, everyone over there. Thank you for working with us. Nash, thank you for holding your line on the bottom. I know it got hairy a few times. We got doored a couple times, but yeah, big shout out to everyone at Ghost Racing Network. Thank you guys for doing the broadcast, and thank you to Mike for putting this on.
Well, again, thank you for talking to us, and congrats on the second place finish.
Thank you.
All right, that was your second place finisher, Alex Hill. Let's go ahead and bring in your winner now, Cody Nagels. Cody, sauced up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
Well, you get the win tonight. Your teammates seemed pretty calm, cool, and collected behind you. But overall, tell us about how you liked the racing through the rest of the way and what you thought of it at the end.
I think cautions tend to breed cautions. After the first caution come out, I figured it would be a little bit rough at the end, but I can't really complain when we went how many laps, no cautions? It was a greater majority of the race. Fantastic racing. I don't know. It's about all I could say. We were able to make a green flag pit stop, which tends to be few and far between in PGR just by the nature of having 43, well, there's some weeks we've had even more than 43 in the field, but it tends to be madness, and it seems since Michael made the change to the heat racing, some of the guys are able to, I guess they're just able to race and not have to worry about the guys that can't hold their line. I hate to put it that way, but it's just nice to be able to race against the top dogs out here and not have to worry about, as we call them, the squirrels, doing squirrel things.
All right, well, a great finish tonight, going home with a huge payday, and of course, with your teammate getting second, that payday is going to be even bigger. Before we let you go, though, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, of course, I want to thank you with Ghost Racing Network for always putting on a good broadcast. I want to thank Baker for what he does as well for race control and for being the team owner for NBG. Got a big shout out to all the NBG guys, Matt, Merck, Baker, Alex. I think over the last week, Alex, was able to listen to some of the stuff we told him, let it soak in, and he was a lot more calm and collected at the end. And I want to thank Michael for putting on a great league. And I want to give a big shout out to my grandpa. This win is dedicated to you, Grandpa. I'm glad that you're out of the hospital, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the road to recovery, man. I love you.
All right, thanks for talking to us. And, hey, we'll see you on Sunday, too, fighting for the championship 4 in NSRA. Good luck then, and good luck next week as well.
Thank you.
Cody Nagels, your winner tonight, he seems pretty pumped up about it, and he should be, because NBG looked very calm, cool, and collected tonight. But I think part of that as well was another thing that we heard from a lot of the drivers was the racing was really, really clean up until the late runnings there, where, you know, sometimes cautions tend to breed cautions. But overall, a lot better night tonight. Looking at your finishing results, Cody Nagels, Alex Hill, Nash Brambilla sweep the top 3. Ken McCall Jr. in 4th. John Ellis Jr. 5th. Danny Esselman 6th. Kenneth Stamper in 7th. Ron Morris Jr. 8th. Daniel Eberhardt in 9th. And Trevor Osbornoff currently rounding out your top 10. Moving on back to 11th, Chris Blanchard. Jason Julian 12th. Steve Korsak 13th. Richard Elliott in 14th. Matt Lee finishes 15th. Sean Corbett in 16th. Ryan Borboom in 17th, J.R. Miller 18th, Ryan Baston 19th, and Philip Wilkinson rounding out your top 20. Sarah Clampert finishes 21st, Danny Barnes in 22nd, Jason Maines 23rd with Gabe Butler in 24th, Heath Job 25th, William H. Scott in 26th, Joshua McCall in 27th, 28th, Mark Von Dell, 29th, Travis Burton, 30th is going to be Shane Hostler. And again, Hostler, we apologize if we're saying your last name wrong, Shane. We'll get it right here eventually. Jeff Merck finishes 31st. Michael Triscaro 32nd. Brock Westmoreland 33rd. John Mullahan 34th. William Fox 35th. Thomas Parker 36th. David Sheets 37th. Mike Davenport finishes 38th. Dustin Carruthers 39th. Dylan Jones 40th. Zach Raines 41st. Christopher McCall 42nd. And Jacob Emery last position tonight for the field, finishes in 43rd spot. Well, the racing was great tonight. Not sure if Baker's back in the booth with us or not. I guess if you are, Baker, I mean, is there anything that we can take from this besides great racing into next week?
I mean, we just need to put on the show again, just like we did with those long green flag runs. I would have loved to see it go green. You know, like we talked about, the cautions breed cautions. We say it every week. Unfortunate that they came in short order. Glad we got the stream up to call that end of the race. That was a great finish. Great work by MBG there. Nash Brambilla, a great finish for him. He stuck with whoever was in front of him. I thought for sure they were going to have a run to the line on the bottom, but they lost all their help and looked like Nash just lost Ken off his bumper and wasn't able to get up there and contend for that second place or maybe the first place. But, you know, great racing all around. Really happy with the product that we put on tonight.
All right, well, that is going to wrap it up for me and Matthew Baker up here in the booth tonight. As always, we appreciate everybody coming out, and again, apologies for that late race hiccup with the internet. There's not really anything I can do about it, but nonetheless, hopefully we don't have to worry about it anymore. Haven't had to worry about it ever before. And one more big shout out to our 2 Super Chat donations that we got tonight. Biggest one from Tucker McClendon, who dropped a $10 Super Chat, and then Josh Oshevsky with the $5 Super Chat. We can't thank you guys enough. We'll see you next week. Till then, have a good night.